Reason number one for why the Pixel Fold is better than an iPhone is voice typing that actually genuinely works. Now we are well into 2023, ChatGPT and AI is taking over the world, and Siri still struggles to accurately transcribe voice messages. I tried using it recently with my Apple Watch whilst on a run in Hyde Park in London, and I just gave up after about 5 tries because it kept getting it completely wrong. Now with the Pixel, it is accurate, simple, and what might seem like a small point for some is a huge point for me. It is fast. You can literally dictate your message and finish off by just saying send, and it just sends it. Now there is no waiting for Siri to read it back to you, no waiting for the, would you like to send it? With Google, you can add emojis and
smiley face, sad face,
easily move the cursor around to add extra words or change spelling mistakes. It is one of the best features in my eyes with the Pixel range of phones, and one that keeps dragging me back to the Google ecosystem each time. Number 2, I think works better in the US than it does here in the UK, but it is still awesome, and that is call screening. Now call screening on the Pixel uses the Google Assistant to answer your calls and screen them before you have to physically answer them. Just tap a button and the call will be transcribed locally on your device, and you can respond by tapping prompts or pick up and answer the call if you wish to. Now if you think it might be junk, or perhaps you just don't want to talk to the person, you can get Google Assistant to tell them not to call again or just end the call. Really, really good. Except here in the UK, perhaps it's just the accent, but most people think it's just voicemail and tend to hang up before the assistants even got to the end of their introduction. Now that does kind of suck because when it works, it really, really works well. Number 3, the Pixel Fold is, of course, you get a great sized front screen that you can legitimately use as it is without any constraints like we've seen previously, like on the Galaxy Fold 4, which has a relatively thin front screen, which makes it difficult to use, especially to type. And you can open the device up to expand that screen to a much larger 7.6-inch display to give you more space to type out emails and watch content or browse social media. It makes those moments of using your phone while sat down on the sofa so much more enjoyable than staring at a tiny screen. But not only do you get a much larger inside screen to consume your content, but the Pixel lets you properly multitask by dragging an app onto each side of the screen, which you can then adjust to be as big or as small as you need to be. Now with the iPhone, that's normally swiping back and forth between multiple apps, but not with the Pixel. Now for lunches, I've been able to watch and listen to YouTube content whilst also logging my food onto my MyFitnessPal. At the gym, I can log my workouts whilst following a workout guide. And in the evenings, I can message my friends while scrolling through TikTok without missing a beat. Number 5, the cameras. Now the Pixel Fold gets something that iPhone users can only dream of, and that is a 48 megapixel telephoto lens with 5 times optical zoom. Now on the iPhone, you only have a 12 megapixel telephoto that does 3 times optical zoom. Now this means on the Pixel, you can zoom in closer and get crisper, higher resolution images than you can on the iPhone. It's not quite Samsung S23 Ultra level with their 10 times zoom, but as we saw this year, Apple actually went the other way instead, and instead of adding in more zoom, they combined 2 of their existing cameras to give you an added 2 times optical zoom. And I, for one, I couldn't really care for having a 2 times optical when I already have a 1 and a 3. Now 5 times means I can snap photos of my own kids playing without having to get up right close to them each and every time. We all know that kids just don't stay still long enough for that. So yeah, 5 times zoom for the win. Also, number 6, the benefit of being a foldable phone is that you can flip the phone around and use the front-facing screen and the rear-facing cameras at the same time to take higher quality selfies. Now, by tapping this button, you can flip your phone over and get great quality photos using the main camera lenses whilst being able to frame up your shots using the screen. It is a great way to make sure that you are always getting the highest quality shots instead of using the front-facing camera. On the Pixel, that's a 9.5 megapixel and no autofocus. On the iPhone, that's 12 megapixel with autofocus. But flipping the phone around gives you the full 48 megapixel main, 10 megapixel ultra wide, and if you really want to, 5 times telephoto. But that is not all in terms of photos. You also have Photo Unblur, which uses the Pixel's Tensor G2 to cleverly sharpen up any blurry photos in your camera roll, regardless of whether it was shot on your Pixel or not. And Magic Eraser is a fun one where you can tap, circle, or highlight people or even objects in a photo. And again, Pixel's Tensor G2 will go to work and remove these people or objects from your photo and do a damn good job at recreating the backgrounds. If you're ever in a busy tourist area but want to take a photo to make it look like you're the only one there, Magic Eraser is a great way to do this. Number 9 is being able to be doing anything on my phone, and I can just tap a button to have the phone instantly translate anything I'm watching or listening to. It just works well, it's fast, it's accurate, all of it's on board using that Tensor G2 chip and not having to use any of Google's cloud services. Now, if you're traveling a lot, then the Pixel makes a really great travel companion to translate what others are saying. And in a coming feature release, specifically for the Fold is also going to make use of both of the screens to be able to live translate a conversation between 2 people, both speaking different languages, and the screen facing them will live translate into their native language. crazy good. And number 10, the pricing. Now, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is cheaper than the Pixel Fold by quite a lot, but most people I know do tend to buy an iPhone and also have a tablet. And with my recent video around what I feel is the best iPad mini you can buy right now, this combination comes out to be way more expensive than a Pixel Fold. Now, of course, there are different reasons for buying an iPhone or an iPad, but for many people who just want a slightly bigger display to consume content on for lunchtimes or when sat on the sofa in the evenings, the Pixel Fold makes for a great alternative, all in one single device. Why do you think the Pixel Fold beats the iPhone? Or maybe the iPhone beats the Pixel Fold? Comment down below.